I made $15,000 in less than 8 hours. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to boast. I haven't made it. I think there's this mystery in life sometimes around making money. A lot of people are looking for different ways to make money. Guess I consider myself an entrepreneur. At this stage, I've owned a couple businesses. Every now and then, I like to think that I could add a little bit of value to somebody's life by sharing what I've learned and what I've done to make money over the years. Who knows? Maybe I'll inspire somebody, or maybe I can give somebody an idea that they did not know was possible. Got a nail in my tire. Oh, see it? Ah, there it is. I don't know if you guys can see that nail. It's in a really awkward position. Yeah, it's this tire right here. There's a nail in it, a screw in it right there.
Oh yeah.
Right here, right there.
Oh gosh, right there. Yeah. Okay. It
is a bright day outside for sure. I had to stop here at good old American Tires right off of Foothill Boulevard. I got a screw in my tire, $350 for a brand new tire. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell because right now, somebody's about to make some money off of this idea right here. All right, so first things first. This took a little bit of luck, a little bit of business sense, and a lot of common sense. I think this was maybe back in 2008 or something like that. No, maybe 2009. I got a phone call from a property manager that I used to work with. The property manager was like, hey, Osiris, we have a building and we're trying to clear it out. A lot of times when these office buildings, when you have businesses go out of business, you know, they have to get either move or relocate, or sometimes they walk away from all of their furniture that they have inside of their storage unit, inside of their offices, right? Hey, for you guys that don't care about the details, I recycled a bunch of file cabinets. But the money is in the details. And for that, you have to keep watching. And this one particular office, I don't know what the business was because when I got there, the business was pretty much empty. With the exception of, they left behind a bunch of file cabinets. Now, these weren't no average file cabinets, if you understand what I'm saying here. I'm 6 foot. These cabinets were 4 to 5 inches taller than me and 1.5 to 2 feet wider than me, right? And there were a lot of them. I get the call, can you help us, relocate, move, get rid of these file cabinets? We need to clear the building out because we're trying to lease it out to someone else. And I was like, well, number one, let me make something very clear. Moving file cabinets was not in my traditional business. Right off of Jump Street, I could have actually said, nah, I'm too busy. I don't have time to move file cabinets or whatever. This is actually a crucial step. You have to be open to things that fall outside your traditional ways of making money. If you're not, then your money-making opportunities will be limited to only what you're familiar with. She couldn't tell me how many file cabinets they had. It was like, it's a lot of them. I was relatively close to this property manager, so I said, you know what, let me see if I can help you guys out. If I can't help you, maybe I'll know someone that can. I drive over to the office building so I could scope the job out, see how big it was. Luckily, it wasn't too far from me. We're talking about the office building probably was 30, 40, 50,000 square feet easily, right? I didn't go to the second floors, the third floors. I just kind of went into the first floor, and the first floor was huge. Easily 15,000 square feet, probably more. I don't remember how big it was because it was quite a while ago. Another crucial step, learn to assess the value of things. What is it worth to you? What is it worth to pursue? What is it worth to the market? And how much time do you have to dedicate to it? So I looked around and I was like, damn, there's a lot of freaking file cabinets here. Like, not just a couple, there was a lot of file cabinets. So my first thought was, all right, have you guys tried selling the file cabinets? And the property manager was like, yeah, we sold a couple, but like, it was just too many file cabinets to sell, basically, right? Like, who's gonna buy that many file cabinets? If I had to estimate, there was probably over 200 file cabinets, okay? Not every single file cabinet was you know, 6'4", 6'5". Some of them were a little bit smaller. They weren't made of the standard file cabinet metal. This metal was like 2 to 3 times as thick, and these file cabinets were probably easily 220 to 300 pounds each, right? From what I understand about those file cabinets, they were medical file cabinets. They had some special locking mechanisms that would meet, I guess, HIPAA's approval, right? So the first thing I said, I was like, so what do you want to do with these file cabinets? Have you guys tried throwing them away? Like, you know, getting somebody to come pick them up? And the property manager was like, no, you're the kind of the first person we called. We're kind of just hoping that, you know, you could just help us get rid of them. So I looked at the job and I looked at all the file cabinets, and then I said, well, maybe I can get somebody to come pick them up and throw them away for you guys. And the property manager was like, cool, yeah, like whatever you need to do. So my wheels are spinning. I'm thinking to myself, damn, all these file cabinets. Now, I knew I didn't want to take these file cabinets and move them into a storage, because I definitely wasn't going to be paying to keep these file cabinets in storage. And I definitely didn't have the time to go around trying to sell these file cabinets, trying to make a little bit of money here and there on a little bit of profit. So the next thought I had, how much money can I make by recycling these file cabinets? And that's when the digging started, right? So the next thing I did was I pushed a couple file cabinets around, estimated the weight of one single file cabinet based on my own body weight. At the time, I was probably like 165 pounds. So moving this 250 pound file cabinet, you know, or 300 pound file cabinet, it was a tussle for sure, right? I didn't have a dump truck, and I didn't know specifically how I was going to move that many file cabinets at that time. So I started thinking about it. I don't know if my truck is ready yet. Looks like it's almost ready. Maybe it is ready. All right, pause. Recycling is a big business. I don't remember scrap prices in 2009 or 2010, but all I did was call local scrap yards, guesstimated how many tons of actual metal I had. My tire is fixed, so we're gonna be changing locations. All right, got the tire replaced. Big old Firestone tires, 350 bucks. That's just ridiculous. They look good, but $350 for one single tire, absolutely ridiculous. Had to go find a shaded spot real quick. Okay, so the details here are extremely important. I had a few jobs going on, so I didn't have a lot of extra labor. So the first thing I did was I decided I was going to recycle these things, but I needed to figure out exactly how I was going to do that. I had a F-250 at the time, which is great, but I didn't have a trailer, right? So moving, you know, 1 or 2 file cabinets at a time was just like, it was just stupid, it was ridiculous. So then I had another thought. I was like, all right, well, let me call my buddy Jason up. He's one of those guys that, you know, you definitely wanna know, right? Because when you need help, he's down to come help. Not only that, he's definitely down to come make some money, right? So I called one of my good friends up and I said, hey Jay, I got some file cabinets to move. You wanna make 1,800 bucks? He was like, okay, I'll make 1,800 bucks. That's exactly how he said, okay, I'll make 1,800 bucks. That's definitely his response. So I told him about the gig. I was like, look, man, there's this office building with a bunch of file cabinets. I need to move them. I think I'm gonna go recycle them. I'll pay you 1,800 bucks if you can get a trailer and come down and give me a hand and provide some extra labor. You know, he was like, yeah, cool, no worries. So he showed up. So keep in mind, this is probably like 2 hours of actual planning, right? Between coordinating labor, between on the phones with different scrap yards and making phone calls. I was probably about an hour and a half into this already. So the next thing I wanted to know was, when did the property manager need those file cabinets out? And she was like, we need them out ASAP. I was like, damn, all right, need to get these things out right away. So I scheduled 6 guys to come out the very next day so we could get these file cabinets moved. But here's the plot. How was I gonna move all 300 of those file cabinets? My boy Jay's coming with a trailer, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, it's gonna be really difficult for me to move 300 plus file cabinets. And I'm saying 300, it could have been a lot more, it could have been like 400. I'm not really sure how many there were at this particular time because it was such a long time ago. But there was at least 300. So how was I gonna move 300 file cabinets in the shortest amount of time possible? A lot of the U-Hauls that they had available at the time were too short. And the other thing with U-Hauls is that, you know, you were pretty much only loading them up from the back, right? So that was basically the first issue. So what I did was, I called up U-Haul, Penske, and one other place, can't remember the name, to get quotes on trucks. If I remember correctly, for $125 at Penske, I was able to get a flatbed 18-foot truck, right? No walls, no sides, just a stake bed truck. Pull up to the truck, remove the stakes. My thinking at the time was like, I want to be able to load this truck from all sides. I don't want to have to be, I don't want to be stuck loading this truck up just from the back only. On top of that, I was thinking once I got to the dump, because I wasn't sure how it was going to work, but I was thinking to myself, and there's something interesting about that. I was thinking once I got to the dump, I'm gonna have to push these file cabinets off. So I didn't want to be stuck with the closed up box truck. It just didn't make sense to me, and it was gonna slow my process down, and that ended up working out really good. So with 6 guys, which was Jason, his dad, a couple laborers, and myself, 3 or 4 dollies that I ended up renting, the Penske truck, we were basically taking 2 truckloads at a time to the dump. So if you've never been to the dump before, every dump is a little bit different, but this particular dump that I found was pretty cool. You drive up, they weigh your truck, right? And after you dump everything that you need to dump, you know, they pay you out in cash. So we rolled up, they weighed the truck. I thought we were gonna have to get out and push these file cabinets off and just like, you know, push them off. It was like an episode of Breaking Bad when I tell you this. They had this big magnet that came over. It was like, when I saw that magnet, I was like, oh, you're gonna be able to take it off with the magnet? Guy was like, yeah, no problem. I didn't even have to get out the truck. And, well, actually I take that back. I had to get out to take the straps off because we strapped all the file cabinets down because we didn't want them tipping over. And plus we stacked them up pretty, well, not that high, right? And I was just in a rush to get that first load to the dump. And while we're at the dump, I had the guys back at the office dollying file cabinets and staging them all the way in the front. So I was like, we're gonna go dump this. You guys stay here, just keep pulling them up to the front, right? So, but when I tell you, it worked out perfectly. He had a flatbed little trailer. I had my flatbed truck from Penske, and that big old magnet came over like a scene out of Breaking Bad. Started picking them up, sucking them up, boom. And when I tell you, they unloaded that truck probably less than like 2 minutes, as well as the trailer, like in like 5 minutes on our way out. I couldn't be happier because now I knew my timing. I knew how long it was gonna take to get to the dump. I also knew how long it was gonna take to get those things dumped. I was certain when I started this, I was gonna be moving these file cabinets for 10, 12 hours. That's how many file cabinets that there were. On top of that, I thought we were gonna be spending like, you know, an hour at the dump trying to push them off and get them off into the dump. I don't want to drag this video out too much more. So I made between $1,000 and $1,100 per truckload that I took to the dump. The Penske truck, because it was a little bit bigger and could hold a little bit more file cabinets, returned the most money. I made 8 trips with an average of $1,800 per trip, totaling $15,000 and a few $100s. I paid my boy Jason $1,800 for coming out and helping me out. I paid for the labor, the Penske truck. The labor came out to be about another $1,000. And that left me with about $12,500. All right, so I didn't put $15,000 in my pocket, but I did keep $12,500. This is not the most money I've made in one day, but it's definitely the most money I've made that requires the least amount of skill. Listen, I'm a realtor, but I'm using my knowledge and experience to show you guys what is possible. If you want to own a home, it is not impossible. If you're going through a hard time, trust and believe you will come through it. And if you're looking for a realtor who happens to be more than a realtor, well then, guess what? I'm your guy. As I always say, planning your next move is easy with the right people in your corner. Hey folks, I'm Osias and I'm wishing you guys success and happiness. Until the next video, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.